Good morning. I'm Ed Pentz, Executive Director of CrossRef. I'm very happy to welcome you today. This is the 15th CrossRef annual meeting. Just a few housekeeping things. We do have Wi-Fi. The login is here on these cards. We also have a Twitter hashtag CrossRef14, so please feel free to tweet today. The full meeting is being recorded and streamed. We will have time for questions, so when you're asking a question, we have a couple of microphones, so we ask that you use the microphone so that gets picked up for the recording and streaming. Breaks and lunch will be out just in the rooms where you came in this morning, and we are going to be sending out an electronic feedback form by email, so it will be very, very useful for you to fill that in because we do take a look at those, and they can have an impact on what we do the following year. Okay, so some of you were here for our corporate annual meeting this morning, but for those of you who weren't, I just wanted to highlight the board. It's very important to have a board, and we have a very engaged and active board that's made up of member publishers. It's a 16-member board of directors, and the way CrossRef is set up, organizations hold the board seats, but then, of course, the people who then fill those seats and participate in guiding CrossRef is very important. So we have our chair and treasurer, who are both here today. This is a list of the current board members. You can see it's a good range of the industry, many types of organizations, and I just want to highlight all their contribution and everything that they do for CrossRef, and in particular, a big welcome to two new board members, Eleonora and Helen, and they represent our international growth as well as growth in smaller publishers as well. And I did also want to say a big thank you to departing board members, Miranda Walker from Informs and Rick Lee from World Scientific Publishing, who've completed their terms. So, moving on to give a little update for CrossRef. So I was kind of thinking about what it means to be 15, and some of you may remember from, I think it was 2010, I was talking about CrossRef at that age being a tween, a pre-tween, and what that meant. So before I get to that, just to talk about the financials. Bernie Rouse, our treasurer, presented these this morning, but just in case you missed that, I just wanted to highlight this one slide. This just highlights here in yellow. This is the operating income, the surplus, and we have on the top here total revenues, which we see are going up, and will be just over $6 million. Expenses here below that, those have also been going up, but they're below the revenues. So since 2002, we've skipped a few years there just to fit things in. We've had a surplus. It's been going up slightly, but we've also, as Bernie mentioned, been establishing a cash reserve and having prudent financial management to keep CrossRef a sustainable organization. And I think that our founding treasurer, Peter Bowman, is here today. So he got us through these tough first few years when there wasn't a surplus, but now we've been on a good trajectory since then. But back to my theme about being 15. CrossRef is now a teenager. Teenage years can be difficult. But I'm going to come back to this a little bit because I picked this up online. It's being a teenager is also called middle adolescent, and it's described as the time when teens become better able to set goals and think about their future. So I think that's very true for CrossRef. And their ability to think abstractly continues to increase, and they often begin thinking about the meaning of life. And I think that's also true to some extent for CrossRef. It's been 15 years, and we're rethinking some things, and we'll talk about that this morning. So you'll be hearing a lot more about that. But just on to some statistics. CrossRef content, there's lots of content. It's been growing, and we've just passed the milestone of 70 million items. And I think that's a great achievement. You can just see from the early years, it's just been a really steady growth. So I think that's fantastic. The type of content and our content mix has been changing. So of course, journals dominate. So 54.6 million journal articles. Next, we have books, 8.8 million book DOIs, so chapters as well as book titles. And then the next one is conference proceedings, articles, 3.8 million. And then we're getting into some of the smaller ones, but which these areas are growing very, very quickly. And so we have components, and we haven't really highlighted that before, but components are figures, chapters, tables within an article that are identified separately. So publishers are starting to identify the parts of articles or chapters separately, and that's growing. Then we have database records here, just close to 1 million, and then technical reports and standards here. So standards has been something very recent. We've been working with ASTM and BSI and some other organizations updating the system, and so we're going to be seeing the number of standards in the system increasing rapidly over the next year. And then just to give you the percentage breakdowns, in the past, journals have been 80-some percent, 85%, so that as a percentage they've been dropping. Books have been increasing, and conferences are staying steady, but you can see here that some of the smaller categories. But the mix is changing, so we should see that continue over the next few years. So looking at the trends with journals, we've seen very, very steady growth with current journal articles, and the membership is growing. The amount of content getting published is growing, so that's led to just a very steady increase year to year. Backfiles is a little bit of a different story, because obviously, as you'd expect, when publishers get going and some of the bigger publishers digitize all their backfiles, that means we've got a lot of backfiles coming in, but we saw a drop in 2012 and then a little bit in 2013, but it's actually leveled off a little bit. The decline has leveled off a little bit, so we're keeping an eye on that trend. In books, you can see that books have been increasing as well, and more precipitous drop-off in book backfiles as well. But overall, it just means a huge amount of content that's now included in CrossRef linking network. We passed another milestone last year where, in terms of the clicks, DOI resolutions, people clicking on DOIs, that's over a billion clicks last year, and this year we should be at over 1.1 billion. And so I think that represents a great achievement, and that means researchers and others who are it's easier to navigate the content online and benefiting scholarly communications. And there's a secondary effect, obviously, bringing traffic to content, to publishers' content. And so we try to, there's a lot of machine activity and crawler activity on the web as well, and machines and crawlers follow DOIs, but we try to weed that out as much as possible. So this 1.1 billion is weeding out actually a huge amount of crawling that we can identify. It's actually machine-based. In terms of membership, we're still seeing 20% growth year on year in the number of members. We now have over 5,300 participating organizations from all over the world, and many libraries too, also using the CrossRef system. So I think one of the things to highlight now is that obviously over the years we've developed a lot of new services. We start with our basic reference linking and cited by linking, and CrossRef metadata services, which is about delivering metadata, plagiarism screening, update identification with Crossmark, and FundRef as well, which you're all familiar with, I'm sure, and the latest service, which is CrossRef text and data mining. And you can see that we've actually built up quite a lot of services, but also quite a lot of names and quite a lot of logos. And so this prompted us a while ago to take a look at our branding and do a brand analysis. And so that work has been going on, and we're going to hear about it a little bit later this morning. But we're collecting lots of different information, and we need to clarify and simplify the branding and how we name our services. So, as a good teenager, we're rethinking our identity. So the brand review has led to creating points of distinction, as they're called, which are the things that are unique about CrossRef, a consistent way for naming our services, using CrossRef as the master brand. And we're underway with an overhaul of the website and how we represent ourselves to the world. And there'll be a little bit more on that later this morning, but I think that's a really big development. So we're reaching out to new groups, and we've made a number of announcements recently that I think are very important. One of them being with PKP, the Public Knowledge Project, who developed the OJS system, the Open Journal Systems. We announced an OJS CrossRef plugin. So CrossRef staff, Carl Ward from CrossRef, worked very closely with the OJS PKP folks, and there's now a plugin that automates deposits to CrossRef. And this is very important because we were quite surprised to see that 400 CrossRef members use OJS, and overall OJS estimates that there are about 7,000 journals globally that use the OJS system. So this is really important to enable small international publishers without technical skills to fully engage with CrossRef. And this is going to, this plugin at the moment covers the basics, but it's going to expand in the future to also cover FundRef and licensing information and all the other CrossRef services. So in terms of new skills and new services, continuing with the theme of helping small publishers, we are just rolling out the CrossRef Depositor. This is based on some technology we've been using for a while, which PDFX, which extracts reference lists from PDFs. So what this enables is facilitates deposit linking and display of citations. So a smaller publisher can just upload the PDF, and then that extracts the references and automatically does all the work for them, even to the point of being able to display linked references on landing pages. So as I said, we're going to be rolling that out starting from next week, and I think that's going to really help smaller publishers, but also for many publishers who have only PDF, full-text PDF, it'll enable them to link their references, which is one of the key aspects, one of the key applications of CrossRef membership. So following on the theme of the collaborations we've developed, we've been working for many years with INASP, with the Journals Online program, and we also had a separate announcement with PKP about being what we call a sponsoring entity. So both with INASP and PKP, we are waiving deposit fees for publishers from low and lower middle income countries who join CrossRef via INASP and now also PKP. So again, extending the reach and opening CrossRef up to new types of publishers all over the world. And then with sponsoring entities, we also have a program where we now have 20 different organizations around the world who are effectively CrossRef agents. They're our partners. We work with them. One of the original ones was JST in Japan with the J-Stage system, but these 20 sponsors now represent 500 organizations. So that's important as we grow, because the sponsoring entity streamlines and helps with administration and technical support, and they can be a local partner for these members. So we're trying to develop these sponsors as much as we can. We also announced a collaboration with CDL, the California Digital Library, and California Digital Library works obviously with libraries, but they have an Easy ID digital identifier service, which also incorporates DataCite DOIs, but they'll now also be offering CrossRef services. So this really connects into a community where libraries are becoming publishers, and then it makes it easier for them to join CrossRef. Very importantly, out on the front desk, just on Monday, we announced collaboration between CrossRef and DataCite. We're going to accelerate the adoption of DOIs for data publication and citation. This is very exciting. One of the key benefits will be support for interlinking between articles and data. Data's very, very big at the moment, and it's going to be some technical integration and other things. And I'm happy to say also that Adam Farquhar, who's chair of DataCite board, is here today. So, this is going to lead to a lot of good things over the next year. CrossRef metadata is driving other industry initiatives. Chorus and Share are making use of CrossRef metadata to enable their services, and we are very engaged with ORCID as well, the researcher IDs. I'm going to be talking about this a little bit later this morning, but just to say, ORCID is within the next 24 hours or so should surpass 1 million registrations, 1 million claims researcher IDs, which I think is a really important milestone. So this couldn't happen at all without the CrossRef staff. So I just wanted to thank the CrossRef staff for everything they do. I just highlight the staff that we've had join this year, a couple in the US and one in the UK. And as Bernie highlighted this morning with the budget, we're going to be growing more next year. We've got a lot of things that we're doing, and so we're going to be expanding and adding a few people over the next year as well. We're currently at 25 staff, and next year that should be going up to 28 or so. So on that score, I wanted to just show this. I've shown this in the past. This may be the last time that you see this logo, because we're going to be rebranding, but I think it captures the benefits of CrossRef and the network effects and the positive impact that we're having on scholarly communications. So that's it for me. Thank you very much. And we will quickly move on to hearing from some other CrossRef staff. And first up, we have Chuck Kosher.